Okay, hello and welcome to etcd community meeting. Today is August 24th and we have three things on our agenda. I don't know if everyone is here, but let me call out Chao. Chao, do you want to talk about the gRPC health checks?
He's not online.
Yeah, I don't see him either. So yeah, I think Gita is here. So Gita, do you want to talk on
Uh,
your CRD thing?
yes. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so I have two topics that I want to bring up. First one is a issue I created against Kubernetes to use a separate etcd server for CRDs. And this is driven by motivation similar to why the events are split into a separate etcd. This is to mainly protect the performance of the main etcd cluster. And I am exploring various solutions on this, but I wanted to surface this in this community and get some early feedback. If anyone agrees or disagrees, just add to the issue. Any
Okay.
questions or clarifications I can provide today, or happy to talk over the issue once you get a chance to look at it.
Just
Yeah,
a very quick note. I actually had some internal Red Hat discussions just 2 days ago on this, and there's a lot of conversations happening around performance. This is one piece of the puzzle, but there's also I think a fair bit of work on the Kube API server side when it comes to CRDs. Also, clusters still blowing up with massive memory usage from Kube API server when very, very, very large volumes of CRDs are coming into etcd. So there's kind of two sides of it, but I'm glad to see the issue.
Yeah, thanks. Please add in your comment and we can go from there. Thank you.
Okay. So I have two thoughts. One about etcd or events, Kubernetes events, and second about what James said. So first, etcd events was usually are separated because they're pretty different type of objects with different life cycle, and they represent more of logs and events or like events instead of state. And also we had a lot of performance issues related to leases, which I expect were the main reason for separating of them. I think the main reason for separating them was a blast radius. That I mean, if you can get cluster into wrong state, it will continue to generate same or even increase the number of events. So the main problem with events, this is like the spiral issue of like there is a problem with cluster, events get duplicated and generate more events, and then there is a bug in etcd there is an feature. Kubernetes misuses events that will cause events to be, I know, tripling or events are not correctly used by, or Kubernetes doesn't correctly use events because leases don't behave as Kubernetes thinks. And there is a bug and there is option, or there was an issue and optional fix that is not enabled still etcd to handle this, to handle leases correctly. So yeah, events are horrible in to store, or how Kubernetes uses etcd to store events is horrible, and it's more about Kubernetes not using them etcd properly. And and the second topic is more about CRDs. The main problem with CRDs is not fact that they're large. It's fact that users are writing their own controllers, and those controllers are broken. So the issue is not about CRDs, the issue is about controller or operator for CRD that list all the objects with revision, with empty revision. And this semantically means totally different thing on API server than Kubernetes use. It's different than how all other controllers behave. A reason is that if users make a request with empty revision, Kubernetes will always request all the objects from etcd, and this kills the performance and blows up memory. If of whole internet rewrote their controllers to use resource version equals 0, then it will be served from watch cache and everyone will be fine. So I'm not like, you can have fun with splitting CRDs. I don't know if there is any reason to split CRDs other than it's a pain point for everyone, but we don't like the root cause. I think is incorrect, like incorrectly assumed. My main part of work is working on fixing the resource version empty, or I don't even remember, because the semantic on Kubernetes side is different than on etcd. And I remember I'm working on making the reducing or making Kubernetes always serve from watch cache to avoid the issues with lists and memory spiking. And this is the problem, memory spiking, because of Kubernetes loading all the memory at once and not serving it from memory, or not loading all the data from memory. It's about Kubernetes asking etcd to get all the data, and then etcd sending it all the data and needing to load it itself in memory. And an API server needs to parsing it and also keep it and everything in memory at once. So it's about passing the data that is non-splittable and or loading full responses in memory and not splitting them, and always passing the data through many components. So there are multiple, like outside of mine, there is also other efforts to fix it, but this is like other, this is not related to CRDs. CRDs are the only thing about CRDs, they're just not serialized, so usually they take more memory and are usually wrongly written controllers, which make the problems more visible than all other, all Kubernetes, or Kubernetes itself, and Kubernetes itself is scale tests. So the bugs, like I mentioned, would not happen on Kubernetes because scalability team prevents those things from happening, because they will catch it up if someone writes incorrect controller in core Kubernetes.
Right, I agree. So there are 3 characteristics in workload that kind of threaten the performance. The events exhibit all 3. One is the spiky generation, like you mentioned, something goes wrong. It's like suddenly the event count spikes up. They all try to get in at the same time. Second is they get listed a lot repeatedly with resource version 0. That creates pressure on etcd. Like you mentioned, if they don't use resource version 0, that problem can be solved in a different manner, perhaps. And third is the object count. They have unusually large object count. So any workload which drives these 3 characteristics is what could benefit, like splitting away from the main one, because they're doing something different. But I'm happy to sync up on especially on the cache effort, the informer effort that you mentioned, to see how much that can benefit. Any other effort that solves these problems, in that case, this won't be needed. So we should sync up.
I mean, there are different types of problem with, sharding events, and there should be, but I want to separate the discussion about because like level of scale, like I've seen clusters handling 1 million of events and working correctly, and you could say you could shard them and it's sharded, but I don't think, like, people are getting into CRD issues with hundreds of CRDs. Like this is the difference level of scale, million events and 100 CRDs, and people have problems with CRDs. Like this is total, like you could try to shard CRDs, but this you will get n times, like you will still get a linear improvement versus fixing the API server watch cache, which I mentioned, which will get you to million of events.
I see Bogdan has hand raised.
Yeah, I had a question. So with the watch cache, does it actually makes it worse in the sense of that it's sort of trying to get the launch time than before the watch cache? Do you know that? Like when it was trying to query.
Can you repeat?
So with watch cache, right? This is a new Kubernetes, relatively new Kubernetes feature, correct? That is trying to cache.
No, it's since Kubernetes hit 5,000 nodes.
Okay,
Like,
then maybe I confused it. Anyway, but I also had another suggestion here. So maybe it's useful to have a little bit more granular metrics around this sense, because how do you actually determine right now that certain keys are, hot in terms of the lists or updates? I think you basically have to query bbolt or record. I think there's an option to record or replay events from the wall, which is only like short period. So one stream of work can be is to improve metrics and even attempt to get some like prefixes that are relatively hot into labels, which is another problem because there's a label cardinality that can blow up. But anyway, what do you think about for Prometheus metrics? So you can put a key into a label, which is not a good practice.
You mean not labels as Kubernetes labels, you mean Prometheus labels.
Yeah.
So this I mean, this has been discussed in somewhat in API server or API machinery, having a metric per resource, but this is like separate effort. I think the main problem is that Kubernetes doesn't want to expose metric about storage, and implementing something like this would, on etcd side, would be a mostly total rewrite of the MVCC, which is very costly. So we are.
Sorry, repeat that again. It will be what?
A huge rewrite of MVCC. Because MVCC everything in etcd assumes that there is a just mapping from MVCC in Kubernetes maintains key index from a key to a revision, and now into like bbolt support metrics, additional having a metrics on buckets, and you could implement technically buckets as a way to gather for bbolt to gather metrics and expose them in etcd, but that would be a full rewrite of MVCC.
Right, but it can be done. We're kind of attempted to do it a little bit. So it can be done on the upper level on the V3 server. So you can try to capture the request and at least like basically try to create a metric that's sort of request per second, or even take a size of the incoming outgoing data. So a little bit level above might be possible without when it's already when the key is already parsed. What do you think about that?
Depends on the metric and what you were trying to achieve. I would be worried on putting another layer of performance, like gathering this, like how it would impact performance. Right. Because bbolt gives you a metrics for free, like it already collects data metrics per bucket.
I see.
Yeah, this Benjamin. Yeah, just a couple of points. The first thing, there is a feature request on the BoltDB. We are going to make the threshold of each page can be customized. You know, currently the only half, you know, when we delete some key from the BoltDB, from the LCD perspective, we just compact. The compact operation will delete key from the BoltDB. You know, the BoltDB only rebalance the page when each usage of the page is below the 25%. So it's very low value. When we support the user to customize the threshold of the usage of each page, I believe the disk usage, the issue can be greatly mitigated. Yeah, this is first key point. The second point, I agree. Yeah, for the CRD, actually, I received a couple similar issues from our customers because the root cause is the operator, not the LCD or not the API server. The operator, the controller, just have issue. They just create a CRD again and again. So they are security CRD. Eventually, the LCD database was run out of database space. So, but in general, I agree. You know, we can save the events into a separated LCD database. Why not you save the CRD to separate the LCD database, LCD's cluster? Yeah, overall I agree. I think the direction makes sense to me.
Thank you. Thank you all for the feedback. Sorry, Marek, I think you're muted.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to say that we are on time. Like we discussed it for long, so let's follow up offline if there's any questions or needed, and we can go to another topic so we can finish.
Sounds good. Next one's mine. I'll keep it very short. This one is related to the V2 Store deprecation. This has been under review for some time, and now that we have the change to generate the V2 snapshot from V3, this field in Raft cluster for V2 Store, I want to remove that, and this is getting in the way. So wanted to request review feedback on this and provide any clarifications here if there are questions on this.
So me and Piotr we were reviewing that, but my main problem, I didn't have I think I spent some time before my holidays to understand the Piotr feedback, and I think I shared his understanding. The problem is I lost the context, and now going through it is pretty hard. So my main I don't have now thoughts about this because it's a pretty deep, it's really involved problem. I would try to reach Piotr. He does from time to time, like on this occasion, he does review. So I would try to catch him. If you don't manage to catch him, please ping me on Slack because it's the main problem. It's not a normal review. It's 1 or 2 hour deep dive into how Raft membership works and replaying from state works in etcd, which just I didn't have time since.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Gator. I do not have time to look into the PR. I will take a deep dive next week. Sorry.
Sounds good. Sounds good. No problem. And thank you.
Yeah. Problem with big PRs, it's just a deep dive. Okay, we have a topic from
Bearcat.
Yeah. Bearcat. Yeah. You want to take over?
Yes. I am basically we're starting to use etcd at my company. And we recently ran into this problem while scaling up one of our services in our staging environment. And it seemed like a pretty scary issue to me because the clients were not aware that etcd was in kind of this error mode. Basically, we were using the lease keep alive stream to tell if the lease was alive or not. And this bug is such that when all the leases are revoked, the keep alive streams are not closed. So I was just wondering if like what the priority was for fixing it, and also like in the meantime, could I do something like, I don't know, like querying the lease every couple of seconds to see if it's still alive? Like what would be a good like workaround in the meantime?
I'm not sure. Okay, I understood. So the issue here is about leases, yeah, leader being stuck, and leases being revoked. So this issue could cause additional revocation, or like if there was not needed, like, or this issue is about etcd breaking assumption that you have time, like during leader election or disruption in cluster, you can, the lease is delayed until the cluster is available, so you can refresh the lease. It's not about leases being not a single lease is being revoked, or I misunderstood something.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was the disk was slow, and all of the leases that we had open with all of our clients were revoked. And I think in terms of like error checking, I just assumed that some kind of error would normally cause the etcd cluster, like would cause the etcd cluster node that you're connected to go down or to be slow, and your lease would be like your like you would the gRPC stream you had for the keep alives would be closed, because your keep alives wouldn't be responded to in time.
But disk is independent of API, like.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that normally I expected that any kind of issue with etcd would cause the leases to be closed, because it wouldn't respond to your keep alive pings in time. But that was not the case. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you meant connection to be closed, but you can have a brain split, and one member could be disjoint, and it could be thinking that it's alive, and it can even think that it's a leader and could give you a response as a leader for 1 second, and you could.
No. This persisted after this like slow disk issue had already resolved. So even after that, the keep alive stream was still alive, and it was still like responding to these clients. The only issue was that their leases were revoked, and I didn't have any other way of checking for the fact that the lease was alive or not. Like, I just assumed that if the keep alive stream was alive, that your lease was correct.
What do you mean by keep alive stream? Do you mean a client, something in client?
Yeah, exactly. When you grant a lease, I believe you can get a.
Okay. Oh, you can establish. So that seems like a bug in client. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the current, like how we are using and what's the interface, but if there is an issue, like I expect concurrency, like I don't know all the abstractions, but if I expect, like if I have STM, so software transactional memory, I should, like if it's based on lease, like if the lease is deleted, or like if I use mutex, it should be notified. I don't know what you're using by keep alives. What do you mean by keep alives here?
This is Benjamin Zhang. First thing I would like to double confirm whether or not the issue you are running into is the same issue as the lease issue. So, so make sure the existing issue is, we know the root cause of the issue, but it's not easy. It's not easy to fix it. It's not easy. Yeah, we have workaround, but workaround is not perfect. I tried to fix the issue by so for example, the restart the leader if the get stuck on writing the disk, but it's not perfect. So ideally I would like to fix the issue on the rough layer instead of LCD layer, but it's not easy task. But on the other hand, so are you sure the issue you run into is the same issue? So this is the key point. So
I believe so. It happened yesterday, so I've been like just kind of like investigating it a lot, but like I'll do more checking and reproduction as well the coming days. We definitely saw all the leases being revoked. I don't know if it was this exact issue though.
Okay, so probably you can upload the logs. The logs we can take a look at offline.
Okay.
Yeah, I would want to understand what is like how you're using client and why you think it's. I mean, lease can just design. I mean, it's best effort, but or I don't think you're guaranteed as a client. You're not guaranteed that your lease will live forever. You need to assume that someone else will pick up the work, because you can just get disconnected and like, okay, you didn't get notified. And that's like if you didn't get notified and lease was deleted and you reconnected to etcd, that's a bug on our side, like or at least in the client.
Mm-hmm.
But you should not assume that leases are never revoked, even if you're alive. Yeah, so there are like two separate problems. One problem is with the disk and your lease being revoked prematurely, or like without, even though there were active clients trying to keep it alive. And separate is a problem of client not noticing and making you think that you are still owning a lease.
Yeah. I think we do check for that, but I can also verify that as well.
Okay. Yeah, so I would want to separate them and handle because one will be in client, the second will be in server, and we should fix both and test both.
Yep.
Okay, because it's a fast announcement, Wenjia, do you want to talk about the mentorship program?
Yeah, I just quickly mentioned everything is in the link. Like we're accepting sign up for both mentors and mentees. I've seen a lot of people have already signed up. Great. So spread the word. This is out. We don't have a deadline yet, like when we're gonna start it, but we will see like the incoming response and decide.
Yeah, so for everyone that wants to uplift their contribution level to etcd, please check it out. I think it's a great effort that hope will get much should give us many more contributors and allow everyone to participate. Okay, that's all the topics for today. We are a little bit late, but still on time. Yeah, thanks everyone for attending today's meeting. Hope to see you on the next one in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.